With barely 10 days to go, anticipation for the year's biggest MMA fight is heating up. Next weekend, on Saturday, August 16, Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis will headline a stacked card at Chicago's United Center. UFC 319 promises all the drama and intrigue expected from a matchup of this magnitude. Needless to say, opinions are pouring in. Most fall on either side of the fence. But an interesting trend appears to be emerging. Despite holding the middleweight title, Dricus Du Plessis appears to be entering the fight as the underdog. The South African fighter may not be third-time lucky. And there are solid reasons behind the growing confidence in Khamzat Chimaev's victory, a win that could potentially launch his campaign to become a world champion in 3 weight classes. In the latest episode of his podcast, legend Georges St. Pierre's longtime trainer, Firas Zahabi, shared his thoughts on the matchup. First, the disclaimer. Coach Zahabi made it clear. The opinions and views expressed were entirely his own and not influenced by oddsmakers. That said, he stated that between the two fighters, Khamzat Chimaev remains his pick to win. Skipping his usual in-depth technical breakdown, Zahabi turned his focus to the question troubling both fans and pundits alike: does Khamzat have the cardio to finish 5 rounds? If Chimaev doesn't finish Dricus Du Plessis in the first 2 rounds, then the latter is likely to take control in the later rounds. It becomes a matter of endurance and momentum. And that's exactly what most people believe. I don't care. Even if your grandma just watched 5 minutes of Khamzat and 5 minutes of DDP, she would come to the same conclusion. Why? Khamzat has shown that he fades in later rounds. It's been his Achilles heel. He's so phenomenal. Nobody could beat this man. If this fight had a 7-minute time limit, Firas Zahabi added, basing his arguments on Chimaev's raw power, relentless aggression, and elite wrestling skills, Zahabi imagined a hypothetical scenario where MMA fights were limited to a single 7-minute round. In that case, he claimed, Khamzat would be world champion in 3 different weight classes, and nobody would ever beat him. If you ask anybody to fight Khamzat for 7 minutes, Khamzat's going to come out on top in the first 7 minutes against anybody. However, Khamzat Chimaev may have to pay a price for his explosive fighting style, Zahabi added. Essentially, Chimaev may dominate the early rounds. But in longer fights, his cardio becomes a potential liability. Still, Zahabi believes he will come out victorious. Firas Zahabi doubled down on his prediction. I think he's going to pull it off. I think he's going to go in there round 1 in the first minute. He's going to get the fight to the ground in 60 seconds, guys, he said. Zahabi expects Chimaev to mangle DDP once the fight hits the mat. Zahabi acknowledged the possibility of a longer fight. However, even in that scenario, he believes Chimaev still has a solid chance to secure a momentous victory. The Russian fighter, he argued, is capable of adapting and surviving a 5-round war, even if it's not his ideal setting. A few others appear to echo Zahabi's sentiments. UFC's number 1 ranked middleweight, Nasruddin Imavov, believes the fight will end within 2 rounds in Khamzat Chimaev's favor. In my mind, Khamzat will finish the fight in the first 2 rounds, he reportedly stated during an interview with MMA Junkie. Like Zahabi, Imavov also acknowledged that most people give Du Plessis the advantage if the fight goes the distance. It's a clash between an unbeaten, highly feared wrestler and an unorthodox striker who wears opponents down with relentless volume and pressure. Will Khamzat Chimaev claim his first world title? Or will Dricus Du Plessis extend his winning streak? It's a showdown fans won't want to miss. What's your take on Coach Firas Zahabi's breakdown of the fight?